Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits. Today this is a short, simple, sweet video on Mercury's upcoming transit in the sign of Leo, where Mercury, Buddha, who is the prince, the young planet who has a lot of youthful energies, one of the fastest moving planets after the luminary moon, of course. Mercury will be in Leo, where it will be conjoined with Sun and also Ketu. So we will witness a 3 planetary conjunction in the sign of Leo, wherever it falls in your chart. Mercury will also be involved in the lunar eclipse that is happening on 7th of September. I have made a very detailed video on it, which is available on my channel in terms of understanding what are the kind of endings that you can expect. So this is a significant transit. Of course, Mercury will be there for about 17-18 days, but this transit is quite significant. Mercury very easily gets influenced by other planets, by other grahas. It rarely gets combust because it is quite used to being in close proximity with Surya, though in this transit Mercury will be facing combustion as well. Mercury will be under affliction by the south node Ketu. So there is a friendly connection that Mercury has during this transit with Sun. Both of them are forming a beautiful Buddha Aditya Yoga that is happening in the natural 5th sign of Leo. And Buddha Aditya Yoga is most auspicious when it happens in the 5th house. But Ketu's transit will definitely lead to some or the other issues when it comes to communication, in terms of creating gaps, in terms of creating isolation, in terms of difficulties with regards to the overall learning process, because Mercury represents learning. He is the natural significator of the 10th house because he signifies learning. In order to work, in order to excel, we first have to learn. Of course, this transit will have different effects for different ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. But one thing is there, that Mercury has both good as well as not so good connections during this short stay in the sign of Leo. But this is making Mercury one step closer to its exaltation sign of Virgo. On 15th of September, Mercury is going to enter its exaltation sign and it will be alone initially. Later, it will be conjoined with Sun in Virgo. So at the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs, at the physical level you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level you can also read this from your moon sign. So 30th of August, Mercury is entering the sign of Leo. Mercury or Buddha is the 3rd lord and the 6th lord in your case. So he rules the house of valor, courage, efforts, your siblings, particularly the younger co-borns. Change is seen from the 3rd house. Also the 6th lord of the Upachaya Bhava. Both of them are Upachaya Bhava. So Mercury plays a very important role in all growth related matters. He rules debts, diseases, health and well-being, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Now this Mercury or Buddha will be entering your 5th house, where it will be conjoined with Sun as well as Ketu. Though initially for the first week or so, it will have a significant difference in terms of degrees with both Sun as well as Ketu, but close to the 2nd week of September, Mercury will begin its close proximity with both of these grahas. So therefore, it will go through combustion and affliction by Ketu. So the first half of transit, end of August, early September, is mostly positive because Mercury being the 3rd and the 6th lord, making a transit in the 5th house in your case would mean that you have growth potential for future. Your decisions will be very quick, very fast. This will increase the impulsiveness in life. When it comes to future decisions, Mercury will be conjoined your 5th lord Surya and the co-8th lord Ketu, because Ketu co-rules the sign of Scorpio. So there is a 3 planetary yoga which is there. Mercury and Sun are forming a Buddha Aditya Yoga which supports education, which promotes learning. So if you enroll yourself in a course, if you go for further education, whether it is short-term courses, whether it is formal education, you can have some or the other success here. It's a very good time to do future planning. Sun holds a greater disposition for you because he is the 5th lord and he is in great strength for the entire duration of this transit. So any remedy in order to channelize Mercury, in order to channelize Ketu as well, is coming from Sun. All the three grahas are involved in the lunar eclipse, so something related to your creative pursuits, your future, relationship with children, and some of these matters might come to a closure for a fresh beginning, for a new beginning. So your 5-11 axis is quite active because Mercury will be aspecting your 11th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So Mercury desires communication with your friends to resolve any conflict. You will have to step into the situation. You might play a role of a mediator between other people's conflict. This is a very good time if you were to get some recognition when it comes to social media platform, or if your business involves communication and social channels. It's a good time for you to expand your horizon. So efforts will see results because resources are supporting. Sun is supporting efforts. Sun is also supporting your daily routine. There could be minor health issues. Take care of your stomach, take care of your digestive system. So watch what you eat and use mantra based remedies. Surya mantra is highly beneficial for you, or you could use a simple Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, and may you have a fruitful transit. Taurus ascendant signs and the Taurus moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So 30th of August, Mercury is entering your 4th house. Mercury is a Karak Graha for you. He is a favorable planet because he is the 2nd lord and the 5th lord. So Mercury rules 2 of these houses that have a very important role in wealth related matters. 2nd house of accumulation, your food, your consumption, your family, your speech. So accumulation of wealth is also seen from the 2nd house. Mercury becomes the Dhanesha. He also becomes the Mantresha, or the one that rules mantras, that rules future, your children, your creative pursuits, and positional success is seen from the 5th house. It is the house of kingdom or Rajya. So Mercury's placement in transit or the natal placement in 4th house is not very auspicious because he is Maran Karak, or it's a death-like position for Mercury where it is losing its signification. Now Mercury will be conjoined with Surya, who is your 4th lord. Surya also has 0 direction. So Mercury is Maran Karak, losing its signification. Surya is losing direction because 10th house it gains directional strength, and the 4th house it is losing. But exceptional scenario, since Sun is making a transit in Leo, so it is still in good dignity, I would say. Now both of them are conjoined with Ketu, who is your co-7th lord. So definitely there is a relationship karma that you have over the next 2 to 3 weeks, which could cause some friction, because this transit can lead to confusion with regards to matters related to your house, related to your children, related to your future. Your finances do need care, though Mercury is forming a Dhan Yoga, but it is under the affliction of Ketu during this time. So any decisions that you take with regards to your finances, with regards to your wealth, you might have to take your partner into consideration, and of course collectively you might need to take that decision. Now in order to channelize the most of these energies, I would suggest that you declutter your house, you clean your house, you get some new plants in order to strengthen Mercury, because he represents all the green things. So have some indoor plants, some new plants that you could get in your house, and this could be a potentially good remedy for you. Offer water to Sun, and you could add some grass into it or some green leaves into it, which will be absolutely very beneficial. Towards the end of the day, Mercury and Sun are also forming a Buddha-Aditya Yoga in your 4th house. 4th house represents your primary education, your fundamentals in life, your value system in life. So this is where you have to have some learning, or you also need to connect with your children with regards to communicating this value system and building your fundamental ecosystem here. All these 3 planets will be also connected to your 10th house because they will be aspecting by the 7th aspect. Both Mercury and Sun will have a 7th drishti on your 10th house. So Mercury demands communication at work, and Sun demands you to deal with any kind of authority issues. So you could have some quarrels or some sort of difficulty with people in leadership or authoritative position. So you might need to stay low key during this time. See, because when Mercury is losing its signification, so it creates communication issues, it creates gap. So stay low key during this time and have a lot of spiritual practice, spiritual sadhana, because spiritually it is very good. 4th house is the first stepping stone towards spirituality because it's one of the moksha trine, and there are good energies which are there in this house by the conjunction of Ketu as well. So have a morning routine and get into some spiritual practices over the next 2 weeks and take it easy. Gemini ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. If you want to look at it from an emotional point of view, mental level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So for you, Mercury becomes your lord of the ascendant. So regardless of the kind of dasha, antardasha, pratanta dasha that you're running, Mercury's transit by default becomes an important transit for you because he rules your ascendant and the fourth house. The lord of yourself, your vitality, immunity, your decision making, who you are, and also the fourth lord of your happy space, your comfort space, your home, your protection, homeland, your mother, and of course things that make you feel happy, things that make you feel content. So your decisions are governed by the planet who represent communication, that is Mercury. Now this transit is happening in your third house, where Mercury will be conjoined with Sun and Ketu. So the first week, 10 days of this transit, Mercury is a bit away in terms of degree. So it is not going through combustion. So first week, 10 days is a good time for you to make efforts. There could definitely be some sudden travel or sudden movement scenario that you could come across over the next 2 to 3 weeks, because Mercury is in third house, it is conjoined with Ketu, who is your co-sixth lord, and Sun, who is your third lord himself. So one thing which is a good news for you, that any efforts that you make from now till mid-September, you will get results. Sun is being supportive, so you will have resources, you will have the power of communication, but some unforeseen change or probably a sudden change might come in place wherein you have to move places or a travel opportunity that you were not expecting. So be prepared for a fast paced life for the next 2 to 3 weeks. The pace is going to increase. Now this transit will also make you a lot more impulsive when it comes to your communication, when it comes to your decision making. It could make you moody, so you could have frequent mood swings. So make sure that you take care of your temperament and you do a Vishnu mantra, that is Om Vishnave Namah, in order to channelize these energies. For journaling, it is a very good time because third house represents your hands, Mercury is communication, Sun is resources, Ketu is spirituality. So any spiritual journaling exercise will be absolutely beneficial for you, and that is something which you must do. Take up short learning assignments, and if you have to travel for your learning, it could be a good time period for you. You need to have a renewed focus on your health, vitality, and your lifestyle. Mercury is aspecting your 9th house by the 7th aspect of desire, so is Surya. So both of them are bringing good energies to protect your bhagya, to elevate your fortune. So somehow you will deal with some adversities over the next couple of weeks, but the transit is supportive in terms of resources, in terms of communication, in terms of your friends that you will reach out to seek certain support. And of course, you could attract some hidden enemies during this time. So be careful, be cautious, and try not to create those bigger enemies. Stay low key in this matter and keep your spiritual sadhana on a higher side. Cancer ascendant signs and the Cancer moon signs, at the physical level you will read this from the ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level you can also read this from your moon sign. Mercury's fast transit in the sign of Leo. So over the course of few weeks, Mercury has been moving extremely slow because it was in Cancer for an unusually longer period of time. In your first house, it went retrograde as well, then direct. Now it's going to enter your second house. Mercury is the third lord and the 12th lord in your case. It shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna lord Moon. So it's not the most ideal graha for you. But being the 12th lord, it also becomes the neutral planet. So it rules third house of communication, valor, courage, efforts. Change is seen from this house. Short journeys is seen from this house, and 12th lord of foreign lands. Your losses, expenditure, higher self-consciousness. In order to become more self-aware, you need to be conscious in life. You need to have conscious thinking, conscious learning, which Mercury supports. So in second house, Mercury will be conjoined with your second lord Surya and the co-fifth lord Ketu. And all of them are also connected with your eighth house or the 8th house in the chart. So this is a very good time to learn Jyotish because your third lord is involved, who represents communication, your second lord of speech is involved, and your 5th lord Ketu is involved, and all are connected to your 8th house of occult, mysticism, and hidden knowledge, secret knowledge, things that need a lot of research based knowledge. So of course this is a good time for you to learn Jyotish. Now Mercury and Sun are forming a Buddhaditya yoga in your second house of your finances, your accumulation. So you have to have some sort of financial learning over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks, how to manage your funds, how to manage your resources. Also bring in some changes in your dietary requirement in terms of the food that you consume, and make collective decisions with regards to your money, with regards to your finances, where your family is also involved, where your children are involved. So you might not be in a position to make independent decisions, so you will definitely need some support. There are fiery energies in the second house, Surya and Ketu making a transit. Your second house will also have a lunar eclipse. So something's coming to an end with regards to financial matters, with regards to your diet, with regards to family related matters for a fresh beginning, for a new beginning. Mercury will ensure that it does bring in a sense of responsibility in your communication because it is under the good influence of Surya. Now this is aspecting your 8th house, which supports quick transformation, fast transformation. Be prepared with regards to some sort of suddenness in life when it comes to financial matters, when it comes to dealing with your expenditure. So I definitely recommend a budget exercise. Use mantras either related to Surya, who's your second lord, or strengthen your moon, who's your Lagna lord, in terms of making the right decisions through this time. Leo ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening is Mercury or Buddha has been making a long transit in your 12th house in the sign of Cancer. Now it is going to enter your ascendant or the first house, and this is where it will come in contact with Surya, Sun, and also Ketu. Surya is your Lagna lord, lord of the ascendant, and Ketu is your co-4th lord. So there will be a 3 planetary conjunction in your ascendant. Also the lunar eclipse, the total lunar eclipse on 7th of September is happening in your ascendant. So of course something related to you is coming to an end for fresh beginnings, for a new start. Mercury is your second lord and the 12th and the 11th lord. So it plays a very important role in all financial matters. Second lord represents your accumulation. It is your storage space, your family, what you consume, what you eat. 11th lord is the lord of the Ayabhava, or your income, material gains, your wider social network, your friends, your connections, and also bigger enemies in life. Now Mercury shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna lord Surya, and both of them are forming a beautiful Buddha Aditya yoga in your ascendant. So all these 3 planets involved in conjunction, your Lagna lord, second lord, 11th lord, and the Ketu being your co-4th lord, are forming a nice Dhan yoga or wealth yoga in your ascendant, which is driven by your own thinking, your own decisions, and your own efforts. So from a financial point of view, next 2 to 3 weeks look very promising. Also from a spiritual point of view, it looks quite promising because Ketu is going to elevate your spiritual pursuits. You must continue to strengthen Sun, who is the strongest planet in terms of this 3 planetary conjunction. Sun is a significator sitting in your ascendant. Mercury gains directional strength here, or it is Digbali. Therefore, there are blessings of Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu during this time. You must look up to him, or use a simple Panchakshari, that is a Shiva Panchakshari, which is Namah Shivaya. Continue to offer water to Sun. Channelize the energies of Surya in order to make the most of this transit. Buddha Aditya Yoga, when it is in the ascendant, it is a good time for learning and educational pursuits. Whether it is related to primary education, whether it is related to building your fundamental systems, or it is related to higher education, which means sharpening your saw and of course building your IQ. This is a very important transit for you. Resources are favorable. Next 2 to 3 weeks, if you have new opportunities coming your way, you have a greater chance to be successful. You can start new ventures, you can establish new routine. From a financial point of view and also for your family, it is a favorable transit. This is the kind of transit wherein you have the opportunity to make new beginnings that are directly related to you, your family, and your comfort space, because all these 3 planets are involved in the eclipse. Mercury will be aspecting your 7th house by the 7th aspect of desire. It desires quick communication and of course frequent communication in your relationship, where Sun also demands loyalty. So loyalty and communication, if you fix these 2 things, in case you're having any relationship issues, you will get the most relief during this time, and I wish you the very best. Virgo ascendant signs. So Mercury, Buddha, the fastest moving planet, the prince, who is also your lugn lord, lord of the ascendant, is now going to be entering Leo, which falls in your 12th house. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening here is that whenever Mercury makes a transit, regardless of your dasha, antadasha, pratantadasha, you will have the impact of its transit. He is your lugn lord and also the 10th lord. So he rules yourself, your decision making, your vitality, your immunity, the power of your brain, your thinking, and also your 10th lord of work, actions in the society, your profession, your job, your business, and whatever you do in this world to sustain yourself, to survive yourself, and of course your loved ones. How do you earn your bread? Now this Mercury is going to be with two other planets. One is Sun, who is your 12th lord, forming a Viparita Yoga in your 12th house, and also Ketu, who is the co-third lord, because Ketu rules the sign of Scorpio. So both of them are forming a Viparita Yoga, and now your lugn lord Mercury has joined this transit. So momentarily, you could see a rise in your expenditure. So you have to somehow curtail your expenditure. You will see a lot of impulsiveness in your buying decision when it comes to spending money, when it comes to work related decisions as well. So you need to be little careful over the next 2 to 3 weeks, because you could have some authority issues at work. You might get some new projects, some things that you've never done in the past. But for those people who've been looking forward to making a move outside of their home country, or probably working on international assignments, international projects, this could be a favorable time for you. In case there is a plan, in case there are some discussions which are ongoing during this time, this is most favorable for you. Now your relationship will be under good protection, because Mercury is having a 7th aspect on the 6th house. So you will fix your daily routine, you will probably bring in a sense of consistency, because Surya is also aspecting, and a sense of communication in your daily routine. So your relationship is under great protection for the next 2 to 3 weeks. If you've had certain issues, now you will see some sort of positive light there. Spiritually, it is an excellent transit, because Ketu is there with Mercury. It is causing an affliction on your ascendant lord. You're not in the best position to make some vital decisions. You could have some unnecessary paperwork as well, rise of expenditure, but spiritually it is very good. So if you were to have some spiritual practices, you have the opportunity to not only start but be consistent with these practices. I would encourage you to have a morning routine, walk bare feet on green grass in order to strengthen Mercury, and at the same time be very regular and direct in your communication. This is a very big message which Mercury is giving you, because it wants you to be more self-aware over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. Do engage in spiritual practices, do yoga, sadhana, meditation. You will become consistent over the course of next few days. Libra ascendant signs, or the Libra moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Now Mercury, who is the 9th lord and the 12th lord in your case, it is a favorable planet because it becomes your Bhagyesha, the lord of fortune, the lord of the 9th house, which also represents your father, father figure, your guru, your teacher, mentor, long distance journey, higher education, spiritual education. Mercury also becomes the 12th lord of expenditure, losses, your vyaya, where do you expense, your higher self-consciousness, the house of your sleep or bed comforts, and also spirituality, or the moksha bhava. Moksha is seen from the 12th house. Now this Mercury is making a transit in your 11th house. 11th house of gains, your wider social network, your friends, your income, your financial well-being. It is also the house of illusion. It is also the house of bigger enemies. There will be a 3 planetary conjunction in your 11th house over the next 2 to 3 weeks, where Mercury is involved, your 9th lord, 11th lord Sun is involved, and Ketu is involved, who is your co-second lord. So Ketu and Sun are already forming a Dhan Yoga in the 11th house. Yes, both Sun as well as Ketu do give wealth when they have to, based on their connections and also in their time periods. Now it is joined by your Bhagyesha Mercury. So this is a Dhan Yoga in transit, because your 2nd lord, 9th lord and 11th lord, all 3 lords are involved, And your fifth house is also involved because these three lords are aspecting your fifth house. So from a financial point of view, if there have been any delays in payments, if you're expecting a rise in your income, increment or an incentive or a bonus, this time period could be absolutely favorable for you. End of August till end of September looks like a favorable time period for you for all these matters and pursuits. Because any planet from a transit point of view does very well in the 11th house, and here Mercury is a favorable planet for you. You must continue to strengthen Mercury. Surya has a greater say, so offer water to Sun in order to bring some sense of consistency in your life. Mercury and Sun both are aspecting your fifth house by the seventh aspect of desire. It's a joint aspect. You can have some issues with your subordinates, with people at work, with your colleagues. There are some ego issues that could develop. You could have some ego issues with your children. But from a progress point of view, it is quite promising because the power of communication is there, which is making you work on creative pursuits. You are likely to demonstrate leadership potential when it comes to creative assignments, creative projects. You have a very good time, and of course, you need to sit down and plan for your future. Put your energy, attention, and your communication in terms of future pursuits. Any mantra based remedies will work very well for you. If it's a Vishnu mantra, it will be very good for you. If it is a Mercury Bij mantra, it could also be good for you depending on your ongoing Dasha Antardasha, because your 11-5 axis is pretty active. You do have greater chances of having financial gains over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks, and my best wishes. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs, at the physical level you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level you can also read this from your moon sign. So Mercury, after making a very long transit in the sign of Cancer, now it is moving at a very fast paced motion. It is going to enter Leo on 30th of August. That falls in your 10th house. Though Mercury is the 8th and the 11th lord in your case, not the most ideal planet. For all the Mars ruled ascendants, that is Aries, Scorpio, Mercury becomes a potent malefic. For all the Mercury ruled ascendants, that is Gemini, Virgo, Mars becomes a potent malefic. So in your case, it's the 8th lord of suddenness, sudden ups and downs, transformation, sudden changes in life, adversities. Your weaknesses on Niju dosha is seen from the 8th house. Also the 11th lord of bigger enemies, greater enemies, your friends, your wider social network, your gains, your income is also seen from the 11th house. So for financial matters, Mercury does play an important role for you. Now this transit is happening in your 10th house. Mercury is the primary karaka or the primary significator of the 10th house because he represents learning, and in order to work, in order to excel, we have to first learn and then we can work. Mercury will be conjoined with Sun, who gains directional strength in the 10th house, going very strong, rules the sign of Leo, and it is conjoined with Ketu, who is your co-Lagna lord, also gaining directional strength in the 10th house. So this kind of transit over the next 2 to 3 weeks could be a breakthrough transit for you for getting new work, new assignment, new job, or a new opportunity, or any opportunity for learning which is linked to your work. You could have some overseas travel as well, in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, in case you've been trying to move outside of your home country, shift places because of your work. If you get a new opportunity, you have to maybe look beyond your current base and explore other locations as well. You have to have a wider aspect in terms of your job or work search, but the timing looks very promising. Depending on your ongoing Dasha Antardasha, you could definitely have some support during this time. You must look up to Lord Vishnu, use the mantra Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya for any work related matters. Mercury is aspecting your 4th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Surya is also aspecting. So you must declutter not only your workspace but your home as well. Offer water to Sun first thing in the morning after having bath. From a remedial point of view, you must continue to strengthen your Sun. Do a Surya Aradhana or Surya related remedies which will give the due strength and support to Mercury and also help you channelize the energies of Ketu. See, the lunar eclipse is happening in your 10th house, so something related to work, some project is coming to an end for you to make a new start. For you to feel more comfortable over the course of next 3 to 4 weeks, it is an excellent time for you to venture into new opportunities. This could be self-employment, this could be a job, this could be a new business venture, and my best wishes for you. Sagittarius ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Now, what is happening? Mercury, Buddha, who is the 7th lord and the 10th lord in your case, is now making a transit in your 9th house. Mercury has two roles for you because it's a Kendra lord, so it becomes an important planet. It rules your Jaya Bhava, 7th house, which is peace and also war. It becomes the lord of your spouse, marriage, relationship, harmony, and also the lord of the 10th house, which is your actions in the society, your work, your profession, things that you do in order to survive and sustain yourself and your loved ones in this world. It is your Karya Bhava. We see your business or your profession from the 10th house. And Mercury also becomes the Bhadakesh or the lord of obstacles, being the 7th lord in your case because you are a dual sign. Now Buddha is entering your 9th house. It has made a prolonged transit in the 8th house. So somehow it was protecting you from any obstacles. Now it is entering 9th house. So firstly it is a yoga in transit because it's your Kendra lord and making a transit in the trinal house, which gives Raj Yoga. And it is conjoined with Sun, Surya, who is the 9th lord in your case, along with Ketu, who is the co-12th lord. So you will have a conflicting situation in your education, which is related to all the mundane matters, work related matters, and also spiritual education. You would want to achieve the best of two worlds, the material world and also the spiritual life or spiritual world, and this is where you will feel slightly uncomfortable. Mercury does very well in the 9th house, but momentarily it could bring some obstacles with regards to your fortune or bhagya. This is where you have to continue to look up to Sun, who is your 9th lord. And Sun is also the secondary Karaka of the 9th house because he represents Dharma. So you will be very communicative when it comes to your Dharma, be the messenger of your Dharma. Avoid isolation, avoid shifting tendencies, and this is where you will gain the most. Mercury and Sun are forming a Buddha Yoga in your 9th house. So if you have higher education pursuits or if you are planning to travel because of education or because of your work, this could be a favorable time for you because this could indicate long journey. This could also mean that you want to settle outside of your home country. Circumstances could be favorable for you in case there have been any paperwork issues, in case there have been issues with documentation. Now you will see some movement because both Mercury as well as Sun are jointly aspecting your 3rd house. So your 9-3 axis is very active. Resources are favorable for you for putting efforts and also support of your bhagya. You must enroll yourself in new learning opportunities. If you don't have higher education pursuits, go for a short course, go for a certification or a qualification. If not, go on a spiritual retreat. Any spiritual journey will be absolutely beneficial for you, and this is the ultimate remedy for you for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Capricorn ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening? Mercury, the fastest moving planet, Buddha, the prince, has been making a long transit in the sign of Cancer, which was happening in your 7th house. Now Mercury will enter your 8th house. Mercury is a favorable planet for you because it's your 9th lord. It's your Bhagyesha, the lord of fortune, long journey, higher education, spiritual education, your father figure, your dharma, your lineage. Mercury also becomes the 6th lord of deaths, diseases, health and well-being, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, right? And your enemies, opposition, competition is also seen from the 6th house. 6th house also represents growth because this is the Upachaya Bhava. So now Mercury will enter the 8th house. There are great energies in the 8th house over the course of next few weeks because there is a 3 planetary conjunction that you will witness. Sun, who is the 8th lord, is making a transit in the 8th house. That is a Viparita Yoga in transit. Mercury, who is your 6th lord, making a transit in the 8th house, again giving a Viparita Yoga in transit. And Ketu is the co-11th lord, making a transit in the 8th house. So circumstances definitely over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks will go adverse. Eventually you will rise. Very good time to have transformation of any kinds, for change of any kind. Even if it's a difficult change or an easy change, change would either come very easily to you or with great difficulties. That would depend on your ongoing dasha, antadasha. You have to avoid any resistance to this change. Otherwise, situation could be difficult for you. Have a lot of spiritual practice. Stay low key. You have an objective in place which is to overcome your weaknesses for positive transformation. You have to clear your mindset, declutter your own mindset by doing some positive affirmations, or of course some mindfulness exercises which will be absolutely beneficial for you, because the 4, 8, 12, this is the moksha trine. We see a lot of spiritual practices from this trine. Financially, it is not the most ideal time to make some big decisions or be impulsive with managing your finances. You have to have some learning in place. You have to do a lot of research before making any investment, before doing or probably making any money related decisions. Now, if you've had some issues with regards to relationship, you will see some improvement, because Sun and Mercury demands loyalty and communication if you were to bring in a sense of fulfillment in your relationship. So, for that, it is a positive transit. Both Sun and Mercury are jointly aspecting your second house. So, Mercury wants to ensure that you communicate very frequently, very regularly with your family. Sun wants loyalty towards them, and both of them are indicative of a change in your diet for your own health and well-being. This time period could create health issues related to your abdomen, related to digestive system, related to the lower part of the body. So, you have to be a little bit careful during this time. The only remedy that could help you is to bring in significant changes in your lifestyle, in your eating habits. You do have an opportunity to bring 180-degree change in the way you live, and this is your core strength, which you will discover over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So, what is happening? Mercury, Buddha, who is your 5th lord and the 8th lord, is now going to be making a transit in your 7th house of the Jaya Bhava. We see peace and war, marriage, relationship, harmony is seen from this house. Mercury attains a Maran Karak position, or a very similar position to Maran Karak. There are different schools of thought. So, it is supposed to be losing its signification, because see, this is not the most comfortable house for Mercury. Mercury is a bachelor graha. So, it has nothing to do with marriage and marital life, and of course dealing with opposite people. But from a business point of view, it's a good transit. If any business related decisions, if start of any new line of business, Mercury is your 5th lord. He rules your future, progress, positional success, your children. So, your children can have some sense of achievement over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. So, be prepared for it. Mercury is also 8th lord of transformation, your research capabilities, and this house also represents your weaknesses or Nija dosha. Hidden desires, secrets are seen from the 8th house. So, from a astrological point of view, Mercury plays a very important role. For Aquarius ascendants, depending on the placement and strength of Mercury, they could learn Jyotish, or probably they will have challenges. Now, this transit has 3 planets: Sun, who's your 7th lord, Ketu, who's your co-10th lord, and Mercury, who's the 5th lord. So, 5th lord and 10th lord are involved. So, from a work standpoint, business related decisions could be very good. But Sun also has a weak position in the 7th house. Ketu has a weak position and Mercury has a weak position, and they will be also involved in a lunar eclipse. So, something is coming to an end for a better relationship, for a better start if you've had some significant challenges. Now, what Mercury is doing is he is aspecting your Lagna, your ascendant, by the 7th aspect of desire. Sun is also doing that. So, there is a power of leadership and communication that is aspecting your ascendant, which will give you the desired skills when it comes to becoming a potential leader and also enhancing your communication, bringing a sense of poise. This will also make you impulsive, so you have to be very careful while communicating with others, while communicating with all those people who are opposite to you. Otherwise, this could lead to arguments, this could lead to conflict, this could lead to minor fights as well, because you can have some temperament issues over the course of next few weeks. So, stay low key, have spiritual discipline. 3 planets in the 7th house, which is the house of desires. It is one of the Kama trine, because 3, 7, 11 is your Kama trine. There will be high sense of desire because Sun is there, the significator of resources, and your 7th lord. Mercury is there, who's your 5th and the 8th lord, and Ketu, who's the 10th lord. So, you will need to channelize these sense of desires. But on a brighter side, those people who are looking forward to stepping into a new relationship, this could be a favorable time period for you, because something is coming to an end which will help you start the matters related to the same concern. Business partnerships, relationship could have a new beginning. Make sure that you continue to strengthen Mercury, who's your fifth lord, by using a Vishnu mantra. Om Namo Narayanaya. This is the magic mantra for you, and may he protect you and guide you in the right direction. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Mercury or Buddha becomes your fourth lord and the seventh lord. Fourth lord of your happy space, your comfort space, your home, your mother, where you feel happy, where you feel most safe and secure. Also the seventh lord of Jaya Bhav, which is peace and also war. Marriage, it indicates your spouse, relationship, business partnership. Now this Mercury has been making a long transit in the sign of Cancer. Mercury is also the Badhakesh for you, or the one who rules obstacles. For the next 2 to 3 weeks, Mercury is there in your 6th house of daily routine, deaths, diseases, your health and well-being. Mercury is also the natural ruler of Virgo, which represents the natural 6th house. So from a placement point of view, it is a comfortable placement for Mercury. It is 12th from the 7th house, and Mercury is a bachelor graha, and he feels at ease in this house. Now there is a 3 planetary conjunction in the 6th house. There is Sun, who is your 6th lord, forming a Viparita Yoga here. There is Ketu, who is your co-9th lord, making a transit in the 6th house. Now Mercury will join them. These 3 planets will be involved in a lunar eclipse, so something is coming to an end with regards to matters related to your 6th house. Your health and well-being is the number 1 priority over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. You have an opportunity to make significant changes in your lifestyle. Make sure that you take care of your stomach, you take care of your digestive system, because you could develop some issues over the course of next few weeks. Alright. Now Mercury is Badhak Graha, lot of obstacles. It has fallen into the 6th house, so it's a fall position for Mercury. Momentarily, it will help you overcome any obstacles, or it will help you not face these obstacles which you might have faced in the past. Look up to Ganpati, Lord Ganesha. He is the one who will channelize the energies of Ketu, who is the most important planet for you in this conjunction, because he is the co-9th lord. So do Ganpati related remedies. A simple Ganpati mantra, that is Om Gam Ganpataye Namah, will be absolutely beneficial for you. And there is Ganesh Chaturthi as well, so make sure that you look up to him and you worship him. Mercury is aspecting your 12th house. Sun is also aspecting your 12th house. So resources are favorable for spiritual practices, spiritual pursuits, spiritual communication. You must donate towards children, donate food to those who need. You could donate wheat, you could donate books, you could donate stationery. So these are some of the options which you can donate, because your 6-12 axis is pretty active. Spiritually, it is a good transit, and you will have a sound financial planning over the course of next few weeks. But your health and vitality has to be the number 1 priority. Take care of your diet, what you eat, and make sure that you keep your lifestyle at check. In order to channelize these energies, look up to Lord Shiva, use a mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Sada Shivaya, and he is the one who will guide you, and this way you will also strengthen your Jupiter, who is the Lagna Lord. So friends, this was a crisp analysis on Mercury's fast-paced transit in the sign of Leo and how it will have an impact on all of us. I hope and believe Mercury's transit and the 3 planetary conjunction helps us prepare for the future, make some quick decisions for quick wins in life. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.